Just like you'll never get another chance. You got an angel on the wing, and she loves to hear you sing, and that precious gift you bring when you dance. You gotta sing, Ruby, sing. There's a melody in everything. Sing it clean and pure and true, like a bell that rings.
This song is called Dance Ruby Dance, a single from 2023, written and performed by today's guests, Mike Plume and Jenny Orenstein. The Ruby in the song is their daughter, Ruby Plume, now a musician and songwriter in her own right.
We won't know until you try. Yeah, well, life is up to you, for to do what you will do. In every shade of blue, it's up to you.
Mike and Jenny have, individually and together, embraced the often challenging musician's life with passion, verve, humor, humility, and, when necessary, the ability to pivot and adapt. To quote the great Billy Bragg from his song Walk Away Renee, you have to learn to take the crunchy with the smooth, I suppose. No one knows that better than Mike Plume. For example, he and his band released their album Fools for the Radio on September 11th, 2001. Yep. That night, playing at a club in Bournemouth, England, to a crowd of about 40 people, everyone in need of a drink and a song, Mike turned to the band before the downbeat and said, quote, "Let's give 'em a show, boys. Mark my words, this is the most important show we'll ever do," unquote. You can read that story in its entirety on Mike's most excellent Substack called The Way I Remember It. I've put the link in the show notes. Mike and Jenny's songwriting and performing careers have taken them all over the world, and they have made homes in Nashville, Edmonton, and Toronto. They've achieved what I consider to be an enviable level of success, despite not necessarily being household names. And I think that success can be attributed to many things: their keen understanding of songcraft, their gifted musicianship, a tireless work ethic, and maybe most importantly, their love and respect for each other, for friends, family, and all of those whose paths they have crossed in their myriad adventures. A big shout out and thanks to my friend and co-host for this episode, Joel Stewart. Joel's known Mike and Jenny for many, many years, and he encouraged me to get them on the show, and I'm so glad he did. So thank you, Joel. Stick around to the end of the episode to hear the live off the floor Music Buddy session version of the beautiful song Motorbike, written by Mike Plume and Luke Doucette. Welcome to Music Buddy. My name's Jane Gowan. Thank you for being here and for supporting this indie podcast and indie music. Please enjoy our conversation with Mike Plume and Jenny Orenstein.
It's all feeling, it's all love, it's all connection, that human stuff. So tell me where you're coming from, where you're coming from. 'Cause I got time and the night is young.
And here we are with Canadian rock and roll royalty, Mike Plume, Jenny Orenstein. Welcome. Joel Stewart.
Coming in hot.
See you again.
Coming in hot on Music Buddy.
Tim Vesley here in the house. Hi, Tim. Thank you for doing this today. I know we have a Blue Rodeo record happening this month, so appreciate you fitting us in. But last time I saw you, Mike, no, The first time we officially met was after our session of Employee of the Myth that we did here with Skydiggers.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
We may have gone to a local establishment on Yonge Street.
That's right, which we probably can't say.
Oh.
Can't we?
Of course we can.
Something without a cause.
Oh.
The Rebel House.
Oh, the Rebel House.
Or depending on where you study English, the Rebel House.
The Rebel. So we were there, and Joel had already talked you up a bit. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll come along. That'd be fun. And, I quickly learned that you have the gift of the gab. Very good at it. And then the next time I met you, Mike, was also here when we were doing Joel's record together. You were sitting right there playing guitar.
I recall. Did we not meet at the Cameron House before? When was the first time you saw a Cameron House gig?
Before that.
Okay.
But I don't think we spoke that night. And then the last time I saw you was at your show at the Cameron House, which was just a couple of weeks ago. But I wanted to go and meet Jenny, but I couldn't get to you because all of your crazy fans were just in the way. So I just said, forget it. I'll meet her when we do the interview. So it's nice to meet you finally.
Yeah, the word frenzies comes to mind.
Rabid, salivating fans.
Frenzy with a D. Frenzy.
On salary, you give them $100 at the end of the night. Yeah. But that was the Cameron House. Such a great crowd, and you really know how to pull them in. Like you've got fans from all over, from all ages. Like there's people there that seem really young, and some people more my age. It's a great crowd. So like a venue like the Cameron House, like how does that feel when you're playing? Do you love it there? Or?
Always loved the Cameron House. First time I was ever there would have been in April of 1997, and that's where we would have first seen Kevin Quain.
Yes.
He, I think, still lives upstairs at the Cameron House. But anyway, so we would go. That was the first time I ever went to the Cameron. And it was just, you walk in there and you feel like you're on a soundstage. You feel like you're in a movie as soon as you walk through those doors. Yeah, great spot.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I haven't played there very much, really, just really with you.
I played there in July of 2004.
Yes.
And Ruby was all of about 72 hours old, and she was at the gig.
Ruby, your daughter.
Our daughter, yeah. And she was at the gig. I remember that. That was fun.
Yeah. No, it's a great spot. And it feels warm and it feels intimate but fun, and I don't know, it's really cool.
You will never see written on the marquee out front, the new and improved Cameron House.
Yeah, but that's its charm.
So gigs like that where you're passing the jug.
Yeah.
And you're doing your own sound.
Yeah.
From
the stage.
Yeah, from the stage.
What's the catch?
So after all these years of touring, is a gig like that, I think that's awesome, but is it worth it to you?
I was going to say, for me, it's 100% worth it. Mike has been doing this way longer than I have. I've sporadically done it. So for me, anything's fun. Literally, I could go sit in the corner there and play, and I'd probably have just as much fun. You may have a different answer.
No, I mean, I love playing there. Like Jenny, I'm very happy just sitting at home playing guitar and singing songs. But I love playing live too. Yeah. It's usually the last thing I want to do until I play the first chord, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. But up until then, there's any number of things I'd rather be doing. But as far as like passing the bucket and stuff like that, every show I've done for the last 20 years, with the exception of the gig we did in Moose Jaw at the Ball Diamond.
Oh yeah, the Roswells.
We played this festival in Moose Jaw, and other than this festival, we played in Moose Jaw where we were paid a guarantee. I pass the bucket everywhere I play.
Wow.
Everywhere I play for the door.
That's a lot of extra work. Especially if people, like I've noticed at the Cameron, people are coming up to you to talk. So you're standing there with the jar and you can't really go anywhere. Right.
There's always someone, like a friend or family member of someone in the band who's like, I'll do it. And, it certainly takes a special person, certainly better anybody else than us.
Yeah, I'm not good at that.
We're not good at it.
I don't walk around. I don't have like a fishbowl or something that I go to every gig. Yeah. But I do eat what I kill at the door. And if nobody shows up, then we don't get paid.
How many shows now for you, Mike?
I am well over 3,000 shows.
Wow.
That is a lot of songs in the key of G.
No doubt.
And how long, Joel and Mike, have you known each other?
Mike, thus far in the interview, has shown a great propensity for remembering dates. He can tell us the date.
I'm going to say January 4th, 1997.
Yeah.
Wow.
Certainly early January. First weekend of January 1997, we could look that up.
Okay.
We were playing at a place called the Mission Bridge in Calgary.
Right.
And we were also filming a video with Joel that weekend, our very first music video.
Save Me From Myself.
That's right.
Followed by Moving On.
Yep. And that was when we met. We've been pals ever since.
And was that you as a filmmaker, or you working for CMT, Joel?
No, that was well before CMT took my calls,
Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
Yes. Years and years before they took
Joel,
my
the
calls.
now director of Souls Road, out in theaters now.
February 6th, I
February
believe.
6th, yeah. I don't know what theaters yet, but we're supposed to know more today.
That's right. Well,
We
there you
saw
go.
it
least
at
you
the
saw
at the Varsity.
I'm taking all my
Big
gal
time.
pals. I'm going to
I,
get us
Oh,
a
I'm
van
gonna
and we're
go.
going to
I
go.
am
You'll be out of
absolutely
town
going.
this Friday. You better get back before it closes. Yeah, better hurry. Don't plan to see it 3 weeks from now.
Okay.
You never know with these things.
Yeah.
I
think it's
couldn't
great.
have been more proud when I saw that trailer.
You have 2 songs in the movie, Mike. Not to give you a spoiler,
You do?
but there's a bar scene where a couple of the characters are having a conversation and Something to Say from Song and Dance Man is playing.
I did not know that song was in there.
And then there's a fairly pivotal moment in the. You always talk about there's a dark time in the movie, and then
Yes.
then the music changes, and everyone's happy for the rest of the movie. When the music changes, it's Dreamer from your album Fools for the Radio, which was released not to mow your grass and tell you
That's
what
right.
the date.
That's right. I bet you. I'm sure you can recall this date.
Yeah, it was released in America on September 11th, 2001.
Oh, God, yeah.
Talk about fire your publicist territory there, eh, Jim?
You know
Holy-
what? Yeah, but Nickelback released Silver Side Up that day. They didn't seem to
There you
harm
go.
them at all. Bob
you-
Dylan released an album that day as well. He seems to be doing okay.
And you kept on charging through,
I kept on,
right?
charging through and charging the credit card. But yeah, we kept plowing along.
It's an incredible career, Mike. Like, it's your writings on your Substack /blog, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
which is called The Way I Remember It.
The way I remember it. That way nobody could say, that's not what happened. Yeah. It's the way I remember it.
Those are
I'm not telling you it's true. I'm just telling you what I heard.
those are the best reading. Like,
I appreciate
honestly,
that very, very
don't
much.
you think, Jenny?
Oh,
Like,
they're so entertaining, and I've heard them. I've heard them in person. I've read them, but yeah, it's great storytelling, and
Yeah.
objectively.
Thanks,
speaking.
Jenny-O.
You're welcome.
one of the stories is called The Girl from Saskatoon.
Yes.
My favorite.
And our mutual friend, John Essen,
Yes.
I texted him this morning.
Yeah.
And I said, if you had one question to ask these guys, what would it be? And his question was, did you ever follow up with the girl from Saskatoon or wonder what happened to her?
I wonder what happened to her a lot.
Yeah.
But I've never crossed paths with her again. Yeah, I wonder what happened.
Wouldn't
I'm
it
hoping
be
that
crazy if she somehow read that story or got wind of it and was like, I'm the girl from Saskatoon, and I'm like playing this whole thing in my head.
Yeah.
Just the thought of that just makes the hair stand up.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
Have you ever heard the Todd Snyder song "Just Like Old Times"? And it's about he runs into a girl, and this is a true story of his, where he runs into a girl that he went to school with, who was turning tricks for a living now.
Wow.
And they go back to his hotel, and they're catching up just like old times. And he has her picture in his wallet and all this
Wow.
stuff. And but you got to hear the song anyway. But it's kind of I mean, same kind of thing, but maybe not. But check out that song. It's a good song. But I often wonder about the girl from Saskatoon. I'm hoping that she's home and married with 3 kids. And
I hope so too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great story. So if people do want to read it, it is on The Way I Remember It, Mike Plume's Substack.
Well, and I think if I may,
go, yeah.
I think that story is you're not one to brag, Mike. That's why you have me around. But and Jenny and Jane. But I think it's just indicative. What happens in the story is essentially there's a sex worker who is liberated by Mike and the Mike Plume Band after a gig in Northern Alberta. And I'm doing it all a disservice, but it's an incredible story. But it's indicative of your character and those people that you surround yourselves with. And I think that's a really fucking nice thing. Pardon my language. Who cares if we sell 10 records? That's what life's about, buddy.
Absolutely.
Well, I've lived up to that part of it.
Well, yes, thank you. I didn't mean to.
Rapidly approaching triple digits.
Yeah, well-
I was telling them styrofoam status, apparently.
Well, yeah, that is one thing that comes across in your songs and in your writings is your heart and your love of life and human beings and your love of each other and your respect for each other. And also with regards to the younger people, I did notice a lot of younger people at the Cameron House show. And is that from some of the work that you do with the Camp Manitou?
That is
or
it.
those where those people are
Definitely.
coming from? Because they seem to be just so into it. Like there was a whole gaggle of beautiful young women right here in front of us.
Yeah.
And they
I
were
hadn't
just
noticed.
they were just like they were so into it. It was awesome. It just, reminded me of myself when I was 19,
Yeah.
20, whatever. And
We've known those kids since they were
Kids.
7 years old.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, more so Mike. It's we both work at the camp, but Mike spent many summers there, and I didn't go, but he always was this, and it continues to be this sort of figure at camp that people admire, and he
Hood
always
ornament.
does what?
Hood ornament.
They look up to him, but he also always does a show up there.
Oh, nice.
And so he's managed to get this sort of younger group of fans. And I mean, I witness it. A lot of people go, "Oh, what are the chords on My Old Friend?" Or what are the? And they,
Nice.
there was a kid from Ireland there this year, Slippy. And he does
course.
busking or whatever, and I don't know where he is
I think
in
his name's
Ireland.
David, actually.
Yeah, David Walsh.
Everybody
Great
needs a
kid.
camp nickname.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a camp nickname.
Great kid. But he's now playing. He plays his songs and
that's amazing.
in his shows and so that's where those youngins
These kids,
came from. But they're great, all of them.
they've legitimately grown up on these songs.
Incredible. So
Yeah.
Camp Manitou is just north of Parry Sound
It's in
bet.
in McKellar.
in Ontario.
Yep.
Yep.
And what's your official role there? Like, what's it been, Mike?
I'm just
Just many things.
I've done a lot of things there. I ran the music program there for a long time, and then after about 8 years of that, there was a little radio station that I ran there.
Oh, no way.
We had three watts of FM power, and so I ran that for 2 or 3 years as well. And then I kind of drifted away from the camp life. And then after the pandemic, with the world being so upside down, the owners of the camp thought we really need to just bring a bunch of people back so we can all feel like we're all getting back to
Normal
normal
again.
again.
Yeah.
And they reached out to me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in coming back?"
Oh, nice.
And I hadn't been thinking about it. But anyway, I went. And now I really am just a hood ornament now at camp. Jenny runs the place. She's like the designated survivor.
You're the you're rounder right now. You're doing stuff
I'm a
now,
year
right?
round. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
The
work
summer.
year round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do a little bit of everything. I do a lot of working with some of the staff, or whether it's the kitchen staff or just all that kind of stuff.
cool.
I do a little bit of everything. Jack of all trades, master of none, as they say. Yeah.
Jenny, you're a specialty, or you have a master's in music therapy.
Yeah,
is that
I
right?
do. I
and
do.
you went to Berklee
I did.
College of
Yep.
Music.
I did.
Along with your daughter Ruby.
Yeah,
Not at the
well,
same time.
Not at the same time, although that would have
That
been
would be
fun for
weird.
me.
Oh, but you should tell her who was in your class because she
Oh, I
has all
think I
those
know.
out. Okay.
Oh, you're wearing the T-shirt?
Gillian Welsh.
Oh,
Gillian
yeah.
Welsh.
Miss
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah, Miss Ohio. Yeah, they were in my class, Gil and
Sorry,
Dave.
I wasn't trying to
Jane,
flash you,
Jane
Mike.
I don't know if showing
the
the
best
audience your T-shirt is great radio.
Well, the angle, right, exactly. The angle, I couldn't see. But yeah, Gil and Dave were in my
nice shirt.
class.
New song coming out.
Joel's wearing a shirt that says Buffalo. Hint, hint.
Love it, by the way.
Oh, thanks,
it's
Jenny.
really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah,
and it
it was recorded
grooves
right
and it's-
here.
I know.
Right
I love
here.
it. I'm so
You're on
proud
that
of
one,
you.
That's Tim
I am
playing
on that
bass
Oh, really?
and the
job,
triangle.
Did you play
job.
triangle, Tim?
No,
I'll
it's
sneak
really
in that
good.
stuff
Thank
in
you so
there.
much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I love it. Love
I
it.
love it too.
Jane does the accordion solo.
Amazing.
I tell you.
Okay,
It
this
really
is like
takes
a
it
full-
up a notch.
But we were talking about
Full
you in
service.
Yes.
Berkeley.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I
so
went to-
you went to
I
Berkeley.
I did. And who else was in my class? Oh, Abe Laboriel Jr., who is now the drummer and has been since he graduated from Paul McCartney.
Oh, wow.
He got out of school and got the McCartney gig.
I mean, probably
Bang,
a
yeah.
couple years later, but
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's not too shabby.
And Tedeschi.
Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
I was in
really?
music
Susan?
class with her.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Susan. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot she went there. But she's great. What's interesting is they have a music therapy program there now, but they did not at the time. I was just doing it, going there for songwriting, and I didn't become a music therapist till much later.
And then was most of your music therapy work you did when you were living in Nashville?
Yeah.
Or
So I did. I got another degree while I was in Tennessee, and I got my master's while I was living in Tennessee and working. But I did my internship actually in Canada, but I did the first 10 years music therapist in Nashville, and then the next 6, 7 in Edmonton. All at pediatric hospitals, though.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
What have you learned about music, approaching it from that perspective versus the let's write a hit song and get on the radio perspective?
That it's taught me. I just think people listen passively to music so often, doing mundane things, but I think it's more important than that. But it doesn't have to be thought of that way. You don't have to be so intentional about it. But I think without realizing it, it actually becomes your personal soundtrack. And I think, do you know what I mean? Like, I think you can just be, I don't know, cooking or gardening, and songs come on, and then much, much later, and this happens to me a lot, I'll hear a song, instantly takes me back to that. And I think everybody experiences that. So not the music therapy sense, I think it becomes way more sort of infiltrated into your life, more so than you think it's going to, until later. With the music therapy lens, it's very intentional. It's like, I'm going to choose this song for this particular reason. It could be an emotional reason. It could be rhythm to, getting technical, increase the heart rate of someone whose heart rate's very low. You pick a specific song to increase the heartbeat. Like, I've seen that happen. I've done it to babies. Yes.
Disco Inferno by the Tramps?
Well, it was hard to do that on my acoustic guitar. But
okay, cool.
Isn't Staying Alive the one you're supposed to do
if you're doing
CPR?
The CPR? Yep.
Well, that's very funny that they would pick Staying Alive.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly. That is funny.
They intended it that way.
But I think that's
staying
you
alive?
remember.
Is he staying alive?
More Than a Woman would be weird.
Oh, God.
When you were doing that, were there one-on-one things you do with these kids?
Oh, yes, I did. So when I was working, I would do some groups. But being in a hospital, there's not that opportunity to do a lot of groups. I did do worked with some other populations. I worked with some recovery centers and did a lot of group work there, which I absolutely loved. Yeah. And that was very different. In the hospitals, I did a lot of one-on-one. I went to patients' rooms. I helped with, procedural support. So if they were getting an IV or they were getting an NG tube, like, I would do music.
Oh, wow.
The best thing I did was songwriting. So that is actually something that is taught. However, I was already doing that before I started studying music therapy, is to create music with and for patients, families, clients, whoever you're working with. That's what I like to do. And it was great. I did it with siblings of children who were passing, or I would do it with parents, or I would do it with the children. I would do it in groups. And that would be a legacy. It would be an opportunity to express how they're feeling. And sometimes it was super deep and sad, and sometimes it was just they needed to write a really silly song, and that was what it was for. So very intentional, all the music there. Music outside sometimes is not as intentional, but all of it, I think, equally impactful to someone's life.
It's incredible. And Mike, didn't you do some recovery rehab work as well?
I did.
And was this inspired by Jenny's work, or at the same time? Or?
It was the same place.
Same place. Yeah, you worked at.
Yeah.
We both worked at a place called Cumberland Heights.
Yeah.
In Nashville. I was just a recovery assistant. Even though I brought my guitar, and sometimes I would play songs for them, but I was just there to be a shoulder for these guys. Maybe take them to a meeting, stuff like that. Help them go through their the 12-step stuff. When we decided we were moving back to Edmonton, that is what I wanted to do. I wanted to work. I wanted to continue on with being a recovery assistant, working with these kids. The populations I worked with, they were 14 to 18, and then the 18 to 24-year-old crowd. I was there for all these guys, and even 24 and over. I mean, anybody really. But when we moved back to Alberta, I wanted to do that, but I didn't have the education for it, and I wasn't about to go back to school, and so it kind of fell by the wayside. We left Tennessee in June of 2016. I stopped working at Cumberland in February of 2016, so 10 years ago. I am still in touch with a couple of the kids that I worked with. They still reach out to me. Last week, I was in touch with 2 of them, and they sent me a message, said, "Hey, man, me and so-and-so, we're going to see the Tampa Bruins game."
Oh, wow.
Every once in a while, we sort of go back and forth, "Hey, how you doing?" And once in a while, I'll get like a, "Hey, struggling." Going back.
Wow.
That kind of stuff. Yep.
Sheesh.
I remember, because I know Mike, as you say, never toots his own horn, and it was such a unique situation because he didn't have the education, but there's this, it was almost, you weren't a volunteer, but it was almost like a volunteer.
It paid like a volunteer.
Yeah. But it was like, they didn't have that opportunity when we came here.
Right.
And he was so well suited for it. And I remember when he told me that he left your last day.
Yeah.
He left to do something and then came back. And I think you told me all these people had set up, all the chairs were set up around the room with one chair in the middle.
One chair in the middle like this. So when somebody, like at this rehab center, people would go for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, depending on how much money you had, because I think it was $1,000 a day. But on that person's last day, they would set up all these chairs in a big semicircle and then one chair in the middle, and everybody would go through and tell this person why they were great. And stuff like that.
Love that.
And anyway,
Wow.
that's what happened. They did that for me.
They did that for you?
They gave me this coin.
Yeah, so they did it for Mike.
They gave all guys in recovery, they give them all a coin that says, the coin is basically like a 12-step thing, let go and let God kind of thing. And then they took me out and sent me off into my world.
That's
But
amazing.
It was
really
the
powerful.
flip, because it wasn't one of the people in the group, but it was Mike, and I just knew. I knew he made such a huge impact.
But I thoroughly enjoyed working at Cumberland Heights, man. Holy shit,
Yeah.
what a job.
What did you learn?
I learned a lot about myself, and I learned that, everybody's fighting a battle, man. Everybody's fighting a battle. And on Sundays at Cumberland was Visitors' Day. And you would see these broken families coming to see their kids or their husband or their wife. And you would literally there but for the grace of God. I don't know. Yeah.
Feels like it's time for a change. When you feel the ground rumbling, well then you're to come a train. Well, there's a hard rain coming, oh, gonna wash away the pain. Feels like it's time for a change. I've been walking around the streets of this town, looking for something not easily found. You gotta feel right in your own skin. Real change, but it comes from within. Feels like it's time for a change. Feels like it's time for a change. But when you feel the ground rumbling, well then you're to come a train. There's a hard rain coming, oh, gonna wash away the pain.
Well, I know that you're not a stranger to
Alcoholism?
Mike. I don't know you that well yet. I have seen you put away a few.
Easy now. That's right, at the Rebel.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I know you're not a stranger to just, okay, I'm going to go do this job now because I have to. Like, for example, you write about when your daughter Ruby was born. What was that, 2004-ish? And you just saw the road and your music and playing shows disappear, and you said, I'm going to take care of my family and I'm going to go out and I'm going to get a job.
Yeah.
Was that when you became a courier?
Yes.
I was a courier, but a bike courier in Vancouver. So
Yeah.
I was feeling your
It's tough, isn't it?
pain through that.
But in
in Toronto,
Toronto
you were
music
courier.
history, of course, Ron Sexsmith
Yes.
and
Ron
John
Sex-
Borrow were courier.
Don
Who else was
Kerr.
that? Don Kerr was on that shift.
Yeah.
Tough
Yeah.
gig, man.
Yeah.
Tough gig.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And it was here in town, right?
It was.
In Toronto?
I was making $70 a day.
And that was not that long ago,
No.
really. Sheesh.
I don't even know how we still put a lot of our life on a credit card back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you were to make that decision again, would you do it again, the same one?
Yeah, because I would have no choice. I'm all but unhireable. I'm not trying to like be like a woe is me, but I have a lot of street smarts, but I have zero book smarts.
Despite being quite literate.
Right. No, he just doesn't have a formal education. That's all.
Yeah.
If people gave me a chance, I could probably prove my worth like they did at Cumberland. So it's just, that's all you can do. Mm-hmm. Now, when Ruby was born, had my career launched, I wouldn't have said, instead of playing Massey Hall, I think I'm going to go get a gig being a courier. I wasn't at that point. I was making not a lot of money to be on the road. And the thought of being away for any length of time did not sit well with me because I just didn't want to be away from Jenny or Ruby. Mm-hmm. Now, if I was on the road and I was, again, making a king's ransom every night, it'd be easier to say, look, I'm going to be away for a month, but then I'm coming back for 6 months and then... Right.
Yeah.
But that just wasn't the case. I mean, when we would go out and do a run of shows, Ruby ended up paying the band's salary for all those gigs because I would take money out of the family bank account to pay the band wages.
Yeah.
And so I just had no choice, and that was all I could do. Listen, I applied for other jobs around town, but just nothing panned out. And I never learned to read.
Okay, let's talk about your recently discovered dyslexia.
Well,
if we're allowed to call it that.
Yeah.
Well,
learning disorder?
I don't even think it's called. I think it's called a learning disorder now.
Right.
I don't even think you can call it dyslexia anymore. I don't care one way or the other. I'm certainly not going to be offended one way or the other.
Right.
But I do have a learning disability, undiagnosed learning disability. Found out when I was 51. But yeah, I've just always assumed forever that I'm always the dumbest guy in the room. And so I tend to try to, I've always had my back in the corner, always. And that's where I sat in school, was my back in the corner, so nobody could be behind me. I would watch everything. But that's just what it was. Like, I was never not much of a reader and didn't really know why. I just didn't even think about it until a couple of years ago. Back in 2019, I went for a test because, again, I was not touring. And so I thought I would try to find a job that I could do something that would allow me to tour whenever I did get a run of shows. Like, I got to the point where I would make okay cash at my shows, but if you're coming home for 6 months, suddenly that paycheck, when you spread that out over 6 months, isn't very helpful. So I ended up getting a job at Long and McQuaid, and brought to you by...
Shout out.
That's right. Conveniently located in Hartland.
But anyway, so when you get hired there, they send you to Toronto for training. And there was some tests that we had to do, and they said, okay, everybody read this chapter, and then when we come back after lunch, it's going to be a test, 25 questions, passing grade is 20, and I'm like, okay, how tough can this be? Well, I got 3 answers right, and I just couldn't, I didn't remember anything, anything that I read, and I called Jenny that night, and I'm like, Jenny, I got a problem. And this was also the first time I'd taken a test since high school, and it was enlightening. And I sort of Googled, undiagnosed adult dyslexia.
You did, yeah.
And I ticked every box. But we decided, well, let's go see a doctor in Edmonton, and and a therapist and all this kind of stuff. And I did all the tests and came back verifying exactly what was going on. My IQ was on the higher end of things.
I can imagine.
But my ability to process was in the 8th percentile. And the doctor said, I've never seen such a discrepancy between IQ and processing.
Wow.
Didn't say he had to consult a bunch of people?
He goes,
Really?
I shared this with my other therapist because I've never seen such a discrepancy.
Mike, what should I call you in my article in the New England Journal of Medicine?
Yeah.
Well, Forrest Gump was taken, so.
But it makes sense because if the processing time was so slow, you read, but it takes you a very long time to read a book.
He showed us this one test, and I'm like, oh, I nailed this. He goes, you know what? You're right. You had no wrong questions. Or you got 100%. But in the amount of time it took you to answer those 9 questions, everybody else answered like 80.
Oh, wow. But how does that apply to, you obviously can remember your lyrics really well, so... That's
a defense, not defense mechanism, but it's some sort of self-preservation. Because I've never studied. I can't. All I ever wanted in school was a passing grade. So if that was 50 and I got a 50, that's 100%. That's all. But I almost never got a 50. I'd get like a 47,
Right.
because that was all I could retain from the class. Because I would go back home and like, I can't read these 4 chapters. I haven't even. Teacher would be like, okay, so you need to review these 4 chapters. There's going to be a test Monday morning. Joke's on you. I haven't even read these 4 chapters yet. You just I walked between the raindrops for a long, long time.
But I don't think your dyslexia, you don't see, it's a different, there's so many, it's a spectrum, I think.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times.
That's probably why they call it a learning disability.
Yeah. Like, because you don't see things changed around, right?
No.
I just think
really.
the heartbreaking part to me is just the age that we are. When it started becoming difficult for you, because you were a very good student up to a certain point. Yep. No one, I love teachers, and teachers are incredible, but the teachers that you experienced didn't even think, I wonder if maybe there's something going on. And they did the complete opposite and berated him, which is horrible. But like today, that wouldn't happen. Today, parents would probably be involved because just the way our culture is, but also like teachers would talk to parents and say, there's something going on, and then put things in place to make him successful. But that's just life progressing. That's just life. You know what I mean?
So when I write my little stories, I run it through an app that helps make sure my punctuation's good and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you notice in my stories, everything's in point form.
Yeah.
Because I can't read a paragraph.
He writes the way he reads.
I think that's a style, but it's not a put-on style. That's actually just the way it works for you, right?
I always thought it was because of just writing lyrics and stuff. So it was like just writing verse.
Yeah.
And then I read some, I just read some Bukowski once, and he writes a lot of stuff like that too, where everything's like, if you ever read like his story, Nirvana, it's spectacular, but it's just boom, 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 boom. It's all these things.
Wow.
Yeah, really cool. Just bang, to the point, done. Trim the fat, go.
Was it a relief that this thing you struggled with had a name?
It certainly answered a lot of questions that wouldn't have been a bad idea to have happened 50 years earlier. But I run all my stories through this app, and it just sort of does, make sure my punctuation is in line and whatever else. And I don't use ellipses too often.
Doesn't like the ellipses?
Yeah.
God, I love the ellipses.
Me too. It's kind of open-ended.
Yeah.
But after I finish a story, it sort of goes through the whole thing. It says, very good, this, that, and the other thing. A fifth grader could understand this.
Oh.
And that was my last year where I was good, where I was top of the class.
Is there a change in the human brain at that age? Like, does our learning take a step up or something? Because I remember at that age, that's when we started to learn about concepts and like larger things.
Yeah.
Around grade 5, grade 6.
Grade six, yeah.
That's when I started getting left behind. Like in 5th grade,
so sad.
I was at the top of the class. 6th grade, struggle. 7th grade, like in November of 7th grade, I got called in to the office. I'd never been called to the office. And they're like, you're going to fail. And I really thought at that point everybody was was having a rough go.
Right.
But I was having a rougher go.
Wow.
I think his processing probably could keep up until that time. And then, as you say, perhaps the work got heavier, the concepts got broader, more to read, more to absorb.
Yeah.
And then, if you're reading something and you're like, I am not retaining this, I don't even know. It's like, who wants to do it? I'm going to go play guitar or hockey or whatever.
But you retain everything you hear. And you mentioned Mike can remember all of his lyrics. It's like Mike can remember everybody's lyrics.
Yes.
Everybody's lyrics, every
and
date,
apparently all the dates and everything.
It's a different part of the brain.
It is.
It's a different part of the brain. Plus, the lyrics he creates himself, so that's a whole other.
Yeah, but still, it is quite incredible your factual recall.
But I really think that is because of my brain just sort of overcompensating.
It'd be interesting to study your brain.
Yeah, well, got to find it first.
But speaking of that, take us back to you in grade 5.
Yeah.
When you moved from,
I was going to be a hockey player at that point.
You moved from Moncton, New Brunswick to Bonnyville, Alberta.
17 years old.
East Coast to Deep Prairie.
Yep.
And then immediately started to label yourself as a guitar player.
Yeah.
Which
I
love
reinvented
that.
myself in Bonnyville.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So, and do you think your ability to socialize and talk to people and play music was helpful in whatever was being left behind over here, on the more academic side?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I do know that I mean, everybody does this. You hear interviews with somebody about an album of theirs, and they'll be like, everybody hated this song when I recorded it. I'm like, no, it was Born to Run. Nobody hated that song. But everybody, the record company said, if you put Sgt. Pepper out, it's going to end your career. That's not the way it works. But until I got the bright idea to name the band the Mike Plume Band, I was fired from every band I've ever been in. And it took me a long time to figure out how to sing. For a guy who will do anything not to embarrass himself, I just spent years embarrassing myself in front of audiences.
May I?
Yes, please do.
I have an unpublished book called Chicken Soup for Your Disappointing Career in Canadian Television, A Failed Filmmaker's Journey.
I'll give you a copy of it. I have it too.
Anyway, in that book, I do talk about the three greatest singers that I've had a microphone on. Dabnett Doyle, Mike Plume, and Jennifer Nettles of Sugarland, in no order.
Oh, wow.
But like the ones where we went in to mix it and do all the things that we normally do to preserve the myth, and we never had to. We never had to do it with Mike. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
You're a great singer, Mike.
I appreciate that. You know, it's like I read somewhere once, like an REM article, and they were talking about this record they were doing. This was a long, long time ago. And they basically said we sat down and decided all the things we didn't want to do. And whatever was left was what we should do. And, okay, well, that makes sense. But I'm kind of the same way with singing. It wasn't so much that I knew what to sing, but once I determined what I couldn't sing, what was left I was pretty good at. Like if I sang Roy Orbison's Pretty Woman right now, you'd be like, why did we book this guy on this show?
Yeah.
No, but if you sang a Lyle Lovett song.
I could sing the hell out of a Lyle Lovett song. I love Lyle Lovett.
Or Tom Waits.
Well, I'm a Tom Waits guy forever. Anyway,
That's
enough about
interesting.
me.
Well, and Jenny, you have a beautiful voice as well.
Oh, thank you.
Have you been singing since the early days?
I think I sang like as a kid, like any other kid. Learned how to play the guitar when I was maybe 15 or 16. And, would do little open mics. I was in a couple bands in college.
I don't know why those bands never took off.
On Tap. That was
On Tap.
Well, there was a branding issue, I guess.
Go Dog Go.
Go Dog Go. Yeah, that was another band. I was just the backup singer on that. But I mean, I went to Berkeley and I, was more of a songwriter, but I did a little EP when I was there. I remember that.
But you didn't start at Berkeley, though.
No. I started at Northwestern in the theater department.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to be an actor. That did not work out. I was not good at that. And then actually, my dad came to visit me, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. He's like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, all I really want to do is sing in a band. He's like, well, why don't you go to music school? And I was like, wait, I can do that? He's like, you're 19. You can do whatever you want. And so I got a ton of brochures, and every school required me to sing an aria. And I was like, Nope. Because I was like a folk singer. I sang James Taylor and, Carole King and stuff. But Berkeley, I could do whatever I wanted. And
nice.
At that time, I'm not sure what it's like now, but I think it's similar as far as you don't have to sing an aria.
Yeah.
I think it's harder to get into now. But anyways, yeah. So I did that. And then I moved to Colorado and I ski bummed for a while and played après ski, just cover. Mike and I were probably at the same time playing some cover. We
Cherry
always
Bomb,
joke.
we figured.
We always joke that we played Pink Houses probably at the same time on the same night
amazing.
and a bunch of other songs. We kind of were. Our
Drawn
playlists
to.
were very similar.
We're both pretty big
Melon Coog.
Yeah, we were huge John
Jenny
Mellencamp.
Cougar, they used to call
Yeah,
her.
they did.
And
They
I
still
was a
call her
big
Jenny
John
Cougar.
Mellencamp.
it could be. Yeah, it could
It could go either way. It
yeah.
changed as I got older.
Yeah, I
The
bet.
meaning.
Yeah.
When you're 22, Jenny Cougar's
I'll never
one
forget
thing,
when
but-
I learned that cougars are officially, like when I was
Yeah.
35, they said, you're officially cougar
Right,
age. I'm
cougar
like,
age.
"Oh,
Yeah,
yikes."
bad.
But when did you two ultimately, first meet?
ChristianMingle.com.
Love that. I'm all over it.
We met in
No shame.
2000.
Yes, September of 2000.
We were both signed to the same publishing company in Nashville.
Okay.
And I had been in Nashville since 94, and it took me a while to get my footing and had lots of other crazy jobs, and then finally got a publishing deal. And then you were also signed there, but
Yep.
then touring, and our publisher, Christy, said, oh, we're going to have a barbecue. You should meet this guy, Mike. He's Canadian. And I'm like, okay, like not all Canadians have to know each other. But I'm like,
he
okay, whatever.
Likes cheese as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold.
That's exactly what she said
Wow.
to me too.
Yeah.
You got to meet Jenny. We just signed this writer. Her name's Jenny. She's from Canada.
Yeah.
No
We're
way.
like, okay. Yeah, that was it. I mean, there was a barbecue. Mike was very shy. But they seated us next to each other, and I just have this one memory of you doodling on a napkin, and you drew an eye, like an eye. And I was like, I'm kind of talkative and not very shy. And so I was, talking and making conversation, but I kept looking over. I'm like, what is this guy doing? He's just drawing
I still
an eye.
do that. I still draw.
No, I know, but now I know you, so it's not a first impression, but that was the first impression. That, and then every 20 minutes you'd go out for a smoke. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is not going to work. Yeah. But then they said, you guys should write. And we were like, okay.
Yep.
So 2 days later, I think, we had our first songwriting appointment at my apartment, and we wrote a song.
End of the Stillness. Yeah.
End of the Stillness. And it went on one of my records.
Wow.
Yeah.
When the end of the stillness comes, haunted by a distant drum, echo of your footsteps, echoes your regret, looking for the door to open, but you haven't found it yet. When the end of unwilling comes, and leaving was just like a cloud, distant murmurs linger like a trestle to your past. When the door is finally open, you just watch the world go past.
We met through Ralph Murphy.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So Ralph, I don't know if you know who Ralph is, but he's from, I think, Port Dover. But he lived in Tennessee since 1955.
One of the real gatekeepers.
Yeah, big time. Good buddies with Harlan.
With Harlan Howard, yeah.
And so, anyway,
Didn't he have
Ralph.
Harlan Howard's ashes in his kitchen? Or
Yes, he
something?
did on the windowsill.
Yeah.
So so Ralph was like a big wig at ASCAP. And I was writing with, I think, BMI. I think I was on BMI at that point, or they were the ones who were collecting my royalty.
Singular.
That's it. And so, anyway, our publisher, Christy, said, you should, you should really meet with Ralph. He would like to get you to come over to ASCAP, and he says, and then we're going to see if Jenny wants to maybe switch allegiance as well and go over to ASCAP. And I didn't know who Jenny was at this point, so I ended up signing with ASCAP. Jenny did. Christy said, "Yeah, Ralph is going to have everybody over. We're going to, meet with Ralph, and then we're all going to go out for lunch." And
I forgot
she said,
about
"Bring your
this.
guitar."
Yeah, I forgot.
It's okay. So and we're going to go and just sing a couple songs for him and show him what kind of songs he's representing or what. I don't remember. So I show up, and that's when Jenny and I first met. We were basically sitting like this, and Ralph was there, and there's a couple other people at the Blue Water offices, and we're all sort of sitting there, and we each played a couple of songs, and that's when Jenny and I first met.
That's great. Yeah.
And then we all went for lunch, and that's kind of it. And then I think it was at that point where we said we should get together and write a song.
It was, but when was that barbecue?
It was like all that same week.
Okay,
it was
that's
all
what I
that
thought.
same week.
Yeah, yeah.
A couple years later, we moved back to Nashville, and the moving truck is out in front of our house, and we're loading all the stuff in, and then Ralph walks out the front door next door.
No way.
Ralph, hey Plume, what are you doing? I said, we just moved back from. I thought you were in Toronto. We just moved back. We're moving in right here, and he was our neighbor.
Yeah.
Wow.
And old Ralph, piece of work. Rest in peace, Ralph.
Yeah.
But he was a hoot. That guy.
You know, in ChristianMingle.com,
Yeah.
there's one called FarmersOnly.com,
Oh.
which is, and I have this jingle that's saying, "You don't have to be lonely at farmersonly.com."
Wow.
It's fantastic. It makes me want to be a farmer. The commercials, the girls are backlit in the field. You know, it's incredible stuff.
Overalls with no
I haven't heard
shirt.
anything you've said for the last 20 minets. I've just been thinking about the old farmersonly.com.
That's it. Does it finish with like a sheep making the sound?
Well, I just want to backtrack just one sec because I want to give a shout out to your dad,
Yes.
Bernie Orenstein. I mean, he said, why not just apply to music school?
Yeah.
Which I just think is what a brilliant thing to
Yeah.
say to your
so,
daughter.
if you knew my dad, you'd be like, of course he said that.
And
yeah.
So he is a writer of some note and a songwriter.
Well, yeah. So
For shows.
Yeah, he was a
you tell me.
writer-producer for
Yeah.
television. He started, in New York and then moved the family to Los Angeles, and then I was born in L.A. So that's kind of, he was working in television when I was born.
He's from Toronto, though.
He is from Toronto, his whole family. He had 4 brothers. And he's turning 95 day after tomorrow.
Woohoo.
Yes,
Happy
it's very
birthday.
exciting. We're going to have a birthday party in New York with him. But yeah, so the songwriter thing, I found out much, much later in my life when I became a songwriter. I was at his house. He was living in Connecticut. And I was in the living room or the den or whatever and just looking at books. And my dad has all of his scripts, or many, many of his scripts, leather bound. And so I'm just looking through the various shows that he did, like Sanford and Son and That Girl and Dick Van Dyke. And I'm just like, I want to take some of these. And then so I'm looking on the shelf and I see a rhyming dictionary. And when I was at Berkeley, part of the books that you had to go get a rhyming dictionary. You're in songwriting class, you need a rhyming dictionary. So the one that I got is the identical one to what is on my dad's shelf. It's the same. It's the exact same book. And so I took it and I looked at it and I forgot who had given it to him, but it was like, Dear Bernie, write some great songs or something like that. And so I went to him and I was like, why do you have a rhyming dictionary? And so then he told me that so basically my dad, when he was, kind of first starting out, he did a couple shows in LA and then a show got canceled and he went to the head producer and said, I want to keep working for you. And they said, well, we're about to start a variety show called the Hollywood Palace. We might be able to use you on that. Do you write music? And, without skipping a beat, he was like, absolutely. And he did not.
The right answer.
The right answer. And that is also indicative of my dad. He's like, just say yes.
Wow.
You'll figure it out later. And so basically what his job was to write what is called the special material for the guest stars. And the guest stars were Judy Garland, Fred Astaire, Bing Crosby,
No
Ethel
pressure.
Merman, insane. And my dad would have a voice recorder, and because I think the lyrics probably came easiest to him being a writer, and he, is musical, and if you ever heard him sing, he's just always at the top of his lungs singing the harmony from way back into the back of the room. Anyway, so he would, sing whatever song that came to his mind, and then he would bring it to the orchestra leader and they would arrange it. Yeah. But quite often he would have to teach the song so the great story is, and I did a long trip with him and recorded 5 days of traveling with my dad and him telling every story. But this story is great. So the first one he did was for Bing Crosby. And so they're doing this rehearsal. And my dad's young at the time. And they're doing the rehearsal. And Bing starts to sing. And he said, wait, stop. I can't really figure this out. Bernie, will you come here and show me how this, because you wrote this, you're the expert. Will you show me how this? So my dad goes up on the stage, and it's just the rehearsals, and my dad goes, well, it goes like this, whatever it was. La, 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 la. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you so much. And of course, my dad later found out that he knew exactly how to sing it, but he knew it was my dad's first job, and my dad was really nervous.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that a fantastic
That's
story?
amazing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
gotta love Bing Crosby for that.
Roses are red and ripe for the plucking. I just finished high school. I'm ready for junior college. Can I borrow your rhyming dictionary?
Yes, you need it. Oh, gosh. That is funny.
Belle Barth. Got to give credit. From her album, My Next Story is a Little Risque.
That's so funny.
But skip
Sorry.
2 generations, and you also you also encouraged your daughter, Ruby, to go to music school.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
absolutely.
sure did. It's interesting because there's no real good reason why anybody wouldn't at least attempt to talk their kid out of a career in entertainment.
Yeah.
And I often say, like, I really wish I'd maybe, jokingly I say this, but I wish I'd voiced my concerns with the music business a little more in front of Ruby. She may not have chased music. You know, it's kind of like when Don Corleone comes out of the coma and he finds out that it was Michael who killed Sollozzo.
Yeah.
And then they meet and they're in the garden and they're
I
sitting
never
there.
wanted this for you.
I never wanted this for you, Mike. I was always thinking Senator
Senator Corleone, you would be the one pulling this.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel with Ruby. I never wanted this for you, Ruby. But it's true.
But, yeah.
But the thing, what's interesting, and it only made sense for us to be so supportive of Ruby, but also Jenny's folks, because they were living the exception to the rule. It worked for them. So they're like, why won't it work for you? Go for it.
Right.
Of course, why didn't you just go to music school? And so with Ruby, it was the same thing. It was like, damn, what the hell, go. You might as well.
Right on.
You know,
Yeah.
so
It wasn't ever
no, not even for a second.
for a
So
second.
it just made perfect sense, just probably because of your dad. But it's like
Probably.
the exception of the rule.
Just sort of, that's just what you do.
Are you surprised at the type of songs she writes? Because they don't sound
Like our
particularly
songs.
like the songs
No.
that you guys write.
It's someone else asked me that recently, and yes, I'm surprised at the depth of her lyrics. Not that I don't think that she was capable of, but I admire her. Like, I'm impressed
Oh,
by
beyond, yeah.
the words and how she comes up with images, and I actually really admire her. Like, I want to be like her. And I'm not just saying that. Like, I love the style that she writes. She's a very good guitar player, better than I am. And her melodies are great too. I don't know how she does it. She just does it. I mean, you can hear some influences. I think that Mike's influence on her, not his music, but they used to listen to Irish music. And when I say Irish music, not Van Morrison. Like, I'm
The Clancy
talking like,
Brothers.
Yes,
Mommy
the
Make 'em.
Clancy brothers. I mean,
You too.
all the like real. I'm like, what are they listening? And then also Nirvana, and then like Beatles. You know,
Radiohead.
the Radiohead. So I think so. Her influences you can hear perhaps, but as far as the music that she's singing, very surprised, pleasantly, and a little bit in awe.
Yes, like
Yeah.
she is so far from Cliche Town,
Yeah.
of which I am the mayor of. But she got on that beltway, that perimeter highway, and skirted right around.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's great.
Well, an outside observer, as writers, you both have this great ability for a turn of phrase and economy of language. She has more economy of words. She achieves what she's doing with so few words, I find. They're always the right words in the right place.
That's really
Her
nice
songs are
to
all
hear.
2.5 minutes long. You know, so Ruby and I, when we would talk music, I'd always be like, we'd appreciate a song, but I would like just point out like textures that would come in. Did you hear that little shaker? I mean, they waited a minute and a half before they introduced that, and we would like get in so inside of a song and pull it apart. You hear that little guitar part? I mean, that's the greatest guitar part. It's so great that you'd want to have it throughout the song. But they knew that you'd wait, make people wait for that. It pays off and all this kind of stuff. And so we would talk music like that, and just like little turns of phrase and just lyrics and stuff like that. It's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch her sort of blossom.
I know you've been supportive and involved, but you are literally watching, right?
We are watching. I mean,
she's doing it.
She's doing it. Yeah.
She's creating it. She's not
For
running
sure.
it by you. She's
No.
like, my next song, listen to my new song on
Yes.
Friday, Dad.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
we-
Which
we-
is good because
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
We couldn't be further from stage moms.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
rooting for her from the sidelines. If she needs anything, obviously, but
course.
just watching her do it.
And you've written songs about her, Perfume and Gasoline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Mama's
was,
Rolling
that was even
Stone?
before she was born.
Yeah.
Mama's Rolling Stone is absolutely about her.
I love
Yeah.
that one.
Free would probably
Yeah.
be about her, even though she would have been 2 when I
And
wrote
Dance
that.
Ruby Dance.
And Dance Ruby
obviously.
Dance. Yeah.
Oh, Perfume and Gasoline was before?
Yeah.
Before she was born, yeah.
Ah, okay.
And I tell that story because we
yeah.
tried recording Perfume and Gasoline for every record we've done since April of 2000.
There was a CD that kicked around, that was the band doing a bunch of tunes.
Oh, that's right.
And it was epic. I think you had Ohio on there the first time. Mm-hmm. And the first Perfume and Gasoline.
Oh,
anyway,
really?
but that was a
Fats
legendary.
Kaplan's playing mandolin and fiddle.
Oh, it was a legendary underground tape that never found its way.
This should needs to come out.
I know.
I think I have it kicking around somewhere. But yeah, we wrote that in April of 2001 with Kevin Welch. Jenny's got the story. Jenny's got the great story about it. But we record, and she will tell it. But we recorded that song for a record she did, and then I tried recording it for pretty much every time I got in the studio. I tried to record it, and we never managed to haul it into the boat. We could never bark it up a tree. But
we ran out of metaphor.
Avoid cliches like the plague. Anyway, so we recorded it in 2019 for my Lonesome Stretch of Highway album, and we captured it like first or second take, and it was because Jenny and I needed to have a teenager living under our roof for us to really be able to sing that song with some
There you
oomph.
go.
She also was in the studio when we did it.
She sang harmony on it.
Yeah, she sang harmony on
Oh,
it.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But we needed that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was just kind of fake.
Singing about
Right.
something else.
Yeah,
I
right.
guess.
When we wrote it, we didn't know that it starts with the Nights at the Dairy Queen.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
It just, we wrote it,
We didn't
sounded
get
great,
it.
and everybody, we loved it, and people liked that song, but we just needed one extra layer of
Validity or
understanding.
trueness.
Yeah.
Well, you got to tell the story, though.
The
This is a great story.
It is a good story. I think I alluded to the fact that I had several jobs before I got a publishing deal. And I was out of work, and a friend of mine worked at a Southern Baptist publishing company. Like for books. And she said, we're always looking for telemarketers, if you want to do. And I was like, sure. So thank you, Susan, for hiring me. So she, I went to work, and basically I would spend all day calling pastors at churches talking about
All through the South.
talking about Vacation Bible School, VBS, the acronym. And so I never knew what any of that was. I grew up Jewish, and I had to like sort of learn a little bit about what it was. But basically, it's vacation. It's like camp at church. So I got it because I got camp, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I would spend my whole day, and I remember on all my breaks I would be listening to Simplify, one of Mike's records, and Mike and I were just. I didn't know you that long, so I was listening to that record. Then I'd call, and I'd spend 8 hours doing this. So one particular day, it was at the end of the day, it was probably very close to 5. I had been doing this all day, and it's the same 20 questions all day. And I got this Southern pastor on the line. He was very nice, and he was answering all my questions. And I was sort of just going, okay, and asking him. And then I was like, okay, so at what age do the young people, the kids start losing interest in Vacation Bible School? And he's like, 14, 15, 16. All right, 14, 15, 16. Okay, great. And just like one last question. Are there any factors contributing to the reason why they're not interested in coming to VBS? I'm looking at the time, and he pauses, and he says, perfume and gasoline. And I was like, huh? I said, hold on. And I just, it caught my attention. I said, can you explain? And he said, and he explained it basically when the girls start putting on perfume and the boys recognize it, and they're, putting
when you smell perfume and gasoline, you've lost
them. And
they got bigger fish to fry.
And at that moment, I put my pen down. I said, sir, would you be okay if I used this line in a song? And he didn't know it was a songwriter or anything. And he was like, well, yeah, I don't care, whatever. Clocked out, went home, and said, I have a lyric.
Perfume and gasoline.
Yeah, I have an idea for a song.
And then the next day we were writing with Kevin. I started playing the chord progression. I sang, some say it starts with the telephone, some say it starts with the crush, some say it's when your baby begin to wear
lipstick, mascara,
and blush. And then Jenny sang right on top of it. 9 o'clock turns into 10, and 11 means 11:15. And then Kevin's like, and midnight is magic and soulfully
Yeah,
tragic.
I
when you
remember
smell
that.
perfume and gasoline. Like, holy shit,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Let's
It was-
order lunch. That's a good morning.
That's a good
The
morning.
hit
Yeah.
before lunch bunch strikes
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
And it just
Incredible.
fell out of the sky. And we were sitting there, and I remember we were at Kevin's house.
Yeah, me too.
And it was so great because he had teenagers.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
And they were both like the son, what's his name, Dustin, who's would have been like 18, 19 at the time. Daughter would have been maybe 15 or 16. And they each walked in at some point while we were writing. And they just loved their dad. You could tell. It sort of gave him a kiss on the cheek as they were leaving. Love you, Dad. Okay. And then as the daughter walks through, okay, Dad, love you, kiddo. And, and I remember thinking this whole thing is just amazing. And that's why he could write that line. Aside from the fact he's a great songwriter, but that's why he could write "Midnight is Magic" and "Soulfully Tragic." And then he also wrote and I can hear his voice. Your sons and your daughters were like oil and water, but now you can't keep them apart. I can hear him singing that. It's everything about that line and the melody is Kevin.
Yeah.
Right on.
But he had those teenagers living under his roof for him to completely tap into that. Jenny and I didn't have it yet. But once we did, and once we recorded it after with a 15-year-old in the house, it all made sense.
Some say it starts with the telephone. Some say it starts with a crush. Some say it's when your baby begins to wear lipstick, mascara, and blush. When 9 o'clock turns into 10, and 11 means 11:15. Midnight is magic and soulfully tragic when you mix perfume and gasoline. It starts with the night at the Dairy Queen, the matinee idols on the silver screen. That's when you know it's time to let go. There's only one thing it can mean when you smell perfume and gasoline.
Can I just briefly acknowledge a bit of rock and roll history that's in this room? Apart from the fact we're in Blue Rodeo's wonderful Woodshed Studio in the undisclosed location.
With Tim.
With Tim. Tim and Dave Bedini, his bandmate from the Rio Statics, are largely, depending on what you believe in the media, credited with bringing Stompin' Tom Connors out of retirement back in the day by crashing his birthday party.
Was that like an 86 or something like that? That was like
It'd be 50th birthday party.
his 50th birthday.
His 50th birthday.
Sounds so young.
Yeah.
That's right. And then, of course, Mike closed the service when Stompin' Tom passed with his song that he wrote 5 days earlier called So Long Stompin' Tom. I think there's a little bit of a nice circle here. Have a good night, everybody.
That's really cool.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
The amount of people that I met after I wrote that saying, "When did you write that?" I'm like, "What do you mean?"
He just died.
I'm just let's see. Mike Reno probably needs a song. I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm just going to start writing songs for everybody, and at some point I'll just trot all these out. Here we go. I couldn't believe that. When did you write that? He died yesterday. It was amazing.
Oh, dear.
That's funny.
That is a good connection, though, Joel. Thanks for that.
Yeah, way to tie that
really
together.
cool.
Well, happy to.
Nice tying together.
I gotta serve a purpose, you know.
You serve a lot of purposes.
Now, the other thing that ties us together is the road.
Yeah.
You two, I'm going to say especially you, Mike, but the
Yep.
two of you have spent a lot of time on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know how many places you've lived together. Sounds like at least 5 or 6
We've
different.
had a lot of
All of that.
towns.
Yeah.
All of that. We've moved a lot. To the point where I was saying this the other day, our beloved Linus shuffled off a week ago, but
R.I.P. Linus, the dog.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
absolutely.
line.
But I was thinking about the poor guy, thinking, I wonder if he thinks we're living on the lam because we move so
That's
much.
right.
Too. We moved.
Oh, here we go again. He must think that we're like badass. We're like we're up to no good, and then we got to skip town.
Got to get out of town.
Because we have moved a lot.
We
Yeah.
move a lot. We drive places
Even
a
more.
lot. And what is normal to us, as I'm learning, not normal to at least a lot of my friends. They're like, "You're driving where? In how? In one day?"
They say if you can drive somewhere in 7 hours, then you should drive.
Right.
We kind of like, well, you can drive somewhere in 48 hours,
Yeah.
you should do that.
Wow. Yeah.
That's kind of our motto.
So when you're in the car together, how do you divide it up
Oh,
in terms of
it's
the driving
very-
or the soundtrack
No,
or
it's
whatever?
Very clear.
Tell me your
Mike
secrets.
drives. I barely do. Not because he doesn't want me to drive. He enjoys driving. Does correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't enjoy being a passenger, whereas I do. Mike pretty much.
I would love to be the passenger on a tour bus.
Okay, that's different. But if it's the two of us, he drives. He pretty much picks the music and or the podcast
Okay.
because I can read in the car.
That's,
that's
a
a-
rare
that's a
skill.
talent.
Yeah,
She
I
just
know.
chews through books.
Yes, so my feet are on the dash. I've got my snacks. I've got my coffee or my drink, and I read. So I don't care what. And obviously, I like, for the most part, 85% of what he decides to play.
And you can read and listen to music at the same time?
I can do it all.
Holy
I am
moly.
a multitasker.
And you don't get car sick?
Nope.
Oh, my God.
So it's
But there are
very,
times, though,
very
w-
productive time for me.
You'll be there are times though you'll be halfway through a book and you'll be like, I think I've read this before.
Oh, yeah, that's happened
So
before.
that might be part of the reason
Yeah.
maybe you shouldn't be listening to music.
But yeah, quite productive in the car. Like I'm already excited for Friday because I'm halfway through my book and I'm just kind of saving because I'm just going to finish it.
Are you going to drive to New York
Yeah.
to see your dad?
Yeah.
That's literally about 3 hours longer than it would take to fly there.
Yeah,
You got to get to the
exactly.
airport an hour and a half early. You got to leave out an hour before the hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing.
Take all that crap out of your
All in one
pockets.
go. There's a great place to stop. We
Yeah.
won't this time, but if I have a longer time to be there and not a rush, there's a little town called Pittsford, New York, and they have a fantastic bakery. They have great sandwiches. And then last
Yeah.
time I went, I was by myself, so I did a little shopping in the very cute little town. So, yeah.
Nice.
And Ruby's going to be there for the birthday party.
Oh, great.
I know. It's just she happens to be on the East Coast doing some shows, and she arranged it that she could be there. So
It's all
amazing.
coming together.
I know.
And then, Mike, you're going out in March.
March.
What the heck? On the road.
Yeah.
And the last time you did this was with
With
Joel
Joel.
Stewart here.
You might be out
this
there
time
again.
last year, was it?
No,
Around?
it's like to the day of this tour.
I might go to Winnipeg for that show.
Oh, fun.
So one thing you said is that stuff happens on the road that doesn't happen anywhere else. You
Yeah.
know, things, you leave the house. I think I've heard Dave Bedini describe it this way.
His book
Once
on,
you
an,
leave the
on, on a
house-
cold road is as good as I love.
It's pretty
that
good,
book.
eh? That's where I learned that Tim used to smoke in that book.
I could spark up right now.
But once you leave the house, the adventure begins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so things will happen. There's some great stories in your writings, Mike, but you two have probably had some pretty incredible adventures together.
We have, yeah.
Yeah, I
And the
think
two
so.
of you as well.
Yeah, probably them. You have some insane stories that.
I can't think of one off the top of my
Well,
head. but-
just sing the Me and Ern song, and
yeah,
they're all
that's
in there.
right. There you go.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
insane. Like things that you're like, okay, that will obviously that didn't happen.
Our bus was stolen when we were sleeping in the back of it.
Other than that,
It's
nothing
so
too
funny.
crazy.
Oh my God.
And I could still see the bus parked up on the curb like this at an angle. I was like, and I woke up the next morning like, where did the guys drive to last night? Who was driving? And why did they park like crazy people?
And then what did they just take your bus just to have a little joyride? And
No,
then-
it was on its way back to wherever it was on its way to. But a couple of the guys woke up
Oh, I see.
and kicked the guy out.
Okay.
So crazy.
Evo and Dave woke up. Boy, there's a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Dave's birthday today.
Oh, wow.
50 years old.
Really?
Dave, man.
And these are guys you've been playing with since you were very young,
Yeah,
right?
since
Especially Ernie.
Christ was a
Shout
choir
out to
boy.
Ernie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since Moby Dick was a tadpole.
That's right. Since the Dead Sea was just
Oh God! Do you see the two of them back?
Yeah, but
and
I can
forth.
imagine you two in a car together.
Yeah.
And that must be like just a little slice of joy in heaven.
There's lots
But,
of fun. That trip
like,
we did was great.
What, any good stories from last year's trip? I mean, that's...
We almost died driving from Bonneville to Saskatoon. That
Yeah.
was as close as I've
No,
thinking, boy, I wish my affairs were in order.
Yeah, that was, maybe we did.
Was it snowy?
Like
Is that
that's
the
Oh,
reason?
it
like
was
I wouldn't be
unbelievable.
surprised if this is just a dream.
Yeah.
It was bad.
We left Bonneville that morning.
Your hometown?
Mm-hmm. We played a show there the night before.
We were heading to Humboldt, I think.
Yep. The sky just had a look. And about 3 hours later, it was just... I thought it was curtains. It took us about 3 hours to get from Lloydminster to Saskatoon, which is normally 90 minutes if you're driving the speed limit. Yeah, it was not good.
And they didn't shut the road down.
Thank
People just
God.
kept plugging through, or...
I think they ended up closing it behind us. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but actually one thing I took away from all that, and it's nothing I didn't already know, and I talked to Mike about this a little bit, but, you know, we gauge success differently. You know, maybe we gauge success differently because we're not successful.
That's right. It's 100% the reason. We all have our own definition of success.
But
Says who?
in every nook and cranny that we would go to, you know, there were these. We were in Moose Jaw,
Yeah.
and there were these dudes at a table up front, and they had an old Mike Plume band poster from back in the day, where Mazurek was on the poster, and Dave, and Ernie, of course. And the other three guys had signed it, and I'm like, "Where'd you get that?" "Oh, we got it, you know, back. We'd like Mike to sign it. Do you think Mike will sign it?" I'm like, "Yeah," you know. But they were from North Dakota, which is just over the border from
You
where
hit
we
a golf
were,
ball to their hometown.
and they'd never been to Canada.
Wow.
You know, and they're like, "Well, we used to, you know, we'd see these guys all the time. We couldn't believe." But Mike gets the "You changed my life" speech every night from somebody,
Yes.
Really, yeah.
Yes.
or "You saved my life" speech.
Yes.
And boy, you know, that's not normal for most people in life to have such an emotional connection with some, let alone one person, let alone
Yeah.
a person in every town. So that's I mean, yes, we had laughs. You know, we finish each other's sentences sometimes, and all that kind of.
Stop for that whiskey in the middle of the Trans-Canada Highway.
That's right. That's right.
That was great.
Yeah, yeah. You know, but that was kind of my takeaway. Is like, I don't mean to speak out of school,
No,
Mike,
you're not,
but
man.
sometimes you get down on yourself, and I'm like, oh, hang on, man, and I get down on myself way worse than he gets down on himself. We kind of have a down on ourselves. I got to rephrase that.
The club.
Yeah, that's,
I had a cellmate who could really.
That's a very heated rivalry,
Yes,
buddy.
yeah. Right out of today's headlines. But I was just always impressed by his ability to win over a room with just his voice and a guitar if it's a solo show, and just what these songs mean to some people. And when I say some people, I mean that very specifically.
That's right. Not you people.
No,
Some people.
no, not people, but some people.
That's right.
You know, and that's success to
I
me.
appreciate that.
Did we already talk about Steel Belted Radio? Did we talk about that yet?
We
The
did not.
songs. Oh,
The documentary you
It's a great
did
little
with these
documentary,
guys.
it was my first CMT special.
It's amazing.
Mike was like, "Hey, we're going to make a live album." He called me from Europe or something.
Yep, I remember that.
And I was like, "Oh," and we had some airplay on CMT, which we were very grateful for, because they used to pay you for every spin of the video, and we could usually afford to make another one.
Called you from Amsterdam.
That's right. So I was like, "Oh, I'll write a treatment and we'll pitch it to CMT," you know, da-da-da. So I wrote this great thing called Steel Belted Radio Live, and they were going to make a live album. We're going to shoot the live album. This is going to be great. And they got back to me and said, "We love everything about this except for you." And I wrote that song Boston
Yeah,
after that. And then I fucking ended up running that network.
there you go.
Yep.
But that show was great because the Mike Plume Band were great.
Yeah.
And we caught you guys on a day.
We were hitting, we were flying. Boy, they greenlit that pretty quick, man, because that was like June when I called you from Amsterdam. We recorded that in July.
Well, you know, I was a little taken aback, and I was like, so I was working on some American TV at that time, and I brought in some of that to say,
Yeah.
people with real budgets are hiring me, and they gave me the chance.
That's great.
Then they said, "We want to see a clip from the show." And I sent a clip of Mike singing a song called DiMaggio,
First time I ever played it.
Great song.
and the cut was great. My camera people were unreal, and the emotion in the room was incredible. And I got called right away The guy who ran CMT at the time was a guy named Ted Kennedy. Very grateful for him. Not that Ted Kennedy. And Ted Kennedy wants to meet with you. And I'm like, oh, no. He's the guy who hates everything about it, loves everything about it but me. And he said, this is the best thing we've ever done.
Oh, great.
How busy do you want to be?
Wow.
Nice.
And actually, Mike gave me his handwritten lyrics to Steel Belted Radio
Oh,
as
nice.
a gift.
And I love all the shout outs that you give to the
Yeah.
various great songwriters
I
of our
appreciate
time. Bob Snyder, Ron Sexsmith,
Yep.
I love it. John Hyatt,
Todd Snyder.
Todd
Snyder.
Snyder. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Fred
Yeah,
Eaglesmith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the years, I've added more people to it because that just happened to be one of it rhymed, all those ones. But those were all guys in my CD case at the time. But now it's
Robert Earl Keen.
Jenny Orenstein.
Jenny Orenstein.
Yeah, every so often, yeah.
I'll say
Absolutely.
Emmy Lou and Lucinda too.
Hello.
Hiram Williams and Bobby Zimmerman.
Right on.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Why don't you bring back John Hyatt and bring back Lyle Lovell? Won't you bring 'em back on Steel Belted Radio? Why don't you bring back Bob Snyder? Won't you bring back Todd Snyder? Won't you bring 'em back on Steel Belted Radio? Yeah, why don't you bring back Ron Sexsmith and bring back Fred Eaglesmith and bring 'em back on Steel Belted Radio? On Steel Belted Radio. On Steel Belted Radio.
Well, aside from your trip to New York, when's the next time you two will be on the road together
For music?
for music?
October, right?
October, we're going to go and do a couple shows, play in Bonneville in October.
Great.
Oh,
And I
nice.
booked the theater in Moose Jaw and Bonneville, and we'll do a couple other little shows. That's our next band trip. But Jenny and I are driving to Tennessee in March.
Oh, great.
Like 2 days after I get back from the tour, we're jumping in the car and driving to Nashville for a couple weeks.
Yeah, we haven't covered a lot of your stuff about Nashville, but you have spent a great deal of
Yeah.
time there, and you've
Yes.
done a lot of writing with people such as the great Guy Clark,
Yep.
Mike, right?
Sure
and,
have.
A lot of other collaborations.
Tried to write
right?
with Todd Snyder.
Did you?
Didn't really
Yeah.
get too far. We had
Yeah.
a line. He had a line about the over-the-counter culture. Isn't that great?
Oh, wow.
And that was just, I'm like, you're going to have to write this, man, because I have no idea. Like, I knew where he wanted to go, but my brain was not going that way. But the over-the-counter culture, which is like, man, my God.
Well, figuring we should probably kind of wind it up, but there's so much to talk about. Like, I want to do another whole conversation where all we talk about is maybe just the song 830 Newfoundland.
I would love
You
to
know.
do that. I would love.
Such
We'll
a
come
great
back
song.
anytime.
Well, let's do it again sometime.
Yeah.
Mike has a lot of Canadiana
I do.
in his blood.
We're also going to do a song together today
Yeah.
called Motorbike
Motorbike.
that Joel and I have started singing
I
together
know.
recently.
I think that's awesome.
in
I
our
want to hear that.
side project.
Yeah, I love it.
And
Our side project Wings.
With a Z.
Yeah.
No, so it's not to be confused.
but would love it if we could all play that together. You guys are going to lead the way. We'll just sort of be in the background.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, so tell me just a bit about this song, and then we'll let Tim set up.
I wrote the song with probably the best Canadian guitar player I've ever heard. One of the great vocalists.
Oh, he's a great singer.
Oh my God.
Underrated singer.
And just a ridiculous songwriter, Luke Doucette.
Yeah.
I ran into Luke. Jenny and I were standing in line at the coffee shop in Nashville, a place called Fido. And Luke was standing in line right in front of us. And I hadn't seen Luke in 1,000 years, and I had really only met him once before that. But I remember he was wearing like a Nova Scotia ball cap. I'm like, I think that's Luke Doucette. So anyway, it was, and we decided to get together to write a song. And he came to our place, and he had a poem that just went, an early midlife crisis looms, and for me to survive, I'll buy myself a motorbike and learn how to ride.
Wow.
Stop out where the grass is dry and the hills are tall and black. Sleep under the desert sky with the wind, with the dirt against my back.
Wow.
That's what he had. And then he had the next verse too, which is when the eastern sky is blue and the sparrows whisper low, I'll make my windy way across the desert slow.
Yeah.
To the cities and oasis that have sin and life and hope, find me a girl who looks like you and
Dance and
drink and smoke. And so I picked up the guitar and I just started playing just a classic Plume band chord progression, D, B minor, G, A. And I sang it just like that. Like the melody just fell out. He had all those lyrics, the melody fell out.
Wow.
And then when I got to the Find Me a Girl Who Looks Like You and Dance and Drink and Smoke, I remember saying, that's a hook. Dance and Drink and Smoke is a hook. I said, I think we need to start the chorus with that. And when I wrote that, at that time, I remember my publisher, Diana Mayer, she was talking to me about how like a lot of like classic country songs will have the title, and Ralph was talking to me about this too. Well, classic country songs will have the title as the last line of the verse and the first line of the chorus, and
Right.
that way you just bang it in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lucinda does it all the time.
Yeah.
She does, absolutely. Car wheels on a gravel road. Car wheels on a gravel road. Car wheels on it. Like just sing the chorus sing the title 4 times. Done. And so I just remember saying to Luke, "That's a hook right there. That Dance and Drink and Smoke is a hook."
Mm-hmm.
And it was just bang, there it was, and it really fell out of the sky, and it
amazing.
was done. It was done in 5 minutes, and then he left, and like a year later, I got a CD in the mail saying we recorded the song.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So that's on.
that
I think
might
that's on one of his
that
releases.
it's on Blood's
It's
Too
on
Thick.
Blood's
Okay.
Too Rich.
Blood's Too Thick. Blood's Too Rich, which is
Luke
to me
his great record.
Yeah, to me that's like the record that all his other albums are compared to. It is just stellar. Yeah, it's as good as it gets. We were driving over here today, and we were listening to Danny Michel's record, Valhalla.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Meanwhile, in L.A. traffic.
Yeah,
Like when you start a song with the word meanwhile.
Meanwhile, yeah.
Oh my
It's
God!
gonna be good.
What happened before this?
Yes,
Well, you
but
ever-
I was thinking about that record, and then the Danny Michel record as we were listening to it,
yeah.
and I was thinking that Luke's Blood's Too Rich album. Those are probably the two, for me, the two best records to come out of Canada in the 2000s. They were just so strong, and everything that Corby recorded, because I'm a massive Corb fan. But those two records are just stellar, sonically, writing,
Playing.
their voices are just. Both of those guys have probably two of my favorite singers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Nice. That's a nice shout out. Ending
well,
with
that won't be in the interview, will it?
Well, let's play Motorbike. Your version is from the Song Harvester.
Song
EP,
Harvester, yeah.
From 2022.
Uh-huh.
And let's do our version, Music
do
Buddy
it.
Session version now. Thank you, Mike. Thank
Are
you,
you
Jenny.
kidding?
thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Joel.
Are you kidding?
Thank
This
you.
was so much fun.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, thanks for listening this far, folks. Here's Motorbike, written by Mike Plume and Luke Doucette, live in the Woodshed Studio with Tim Vesley at the board, Mike Plume and Jenny Orenstein on guitars and vocals, and Joel Stewart and myself on background vocals. Take it away.
An early midlife crisis looms for me to survive. By myself a motorbike, learn how to ride. Stop out where the grass is dry and the hills are tall and black. Sleep under the desert sky with the dirt against my back. La-di-da-di-da. The dirt against my back. Oh, when the eastern sky is blue and the sparrows whisper low, I will make my windy way across the desert slow to the cities and oases that have sin and life and against my back. In the dim we laugh and hope for the future, present, past. Roll in the dice, come up sevens or snake high. At the end of the day, we just stay that way. If we could. That's right.
Thank you to our guests, Mike Plume and Jenny Orenstein, and to all of you for listening. For more information about what you heard here today, check out the show notes for links, etc. The podcast is produced and edited by me, Jane Gowan. Today's episode was recorded by Tim Vesley at Blue Rodeo's Woodshed Studio in Toronto, Ontario. My co-host is Mr. Joel Stewart. Music Buddy is brought to you by Morning Run Productions. We are fueled by curiosity, community, and great songs in the key of G. However, none of those things pay the bills. So that's where we could use your help. If you're in a position to help support the pod, you can go to musicbuddy.ca/donate for a one-time donation, or new thing, if you'd like to help us with a monthly donation, look for the support button at the top right of our website and enter the amount you're comfortable with. If you're interested in becoming an advertiser or sponsor, please send us a note to info@musicbuddy.ca. We'd love to hear from you. Please help spread the word by telling your friends or sharing on social media or rating the podcast and reviewing it on your podcast app. Take care out there, and remember, always, dance like you'll never get another chance.